Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Easily Knitfluenced. My name is Michelle. I'm here to talk about knitting. So this is probably going to be my last podcast episode for this year, which is crazy to think about. I actually started this channel at the beginning of 2024, so coming up on a year, which is wild. The next time you'll be hearing from me in a podcast will be in the new year because I am actually heading to Japan a little bit after Christmas to go see some family and go spend time with friends out there. So, I'm kind of wrapping up the year, I guess. So let's get into it. I have two finished objects for you today, one of which I am wearing. So let's start with this one. This is the Moonset pullover by Ozetta. Um, I'm so happy I got this done. I really wanted to bring this with me to Japan, so by the end I was kind of like flying through the sleeves on this, trying to just like get it done. Some information on this. I knit this in a size medium. I used Knitting for Olive merino and soft silk mohair matching color Bordeaux. And I knit this basically on a almost the whole thing was on a US 6 or 4mm needle, with the exception of the I-cord bind off for the sleeves and the hem at the bottom, which I did in a slightly smaller needle. Everything else US 6, so kind of a solid, solid DK weight project. So what to say about this pattern? I mean, if you guys have been following me, you know I did the Moonset tee during the summer, which I loved. Made that a little bit more oversized than I made this, and then kind of continued in my Ozetta obsession with this garment, and it's beautiful. It is a really lovely, like slouchy but not too oversized pullover. So you can see on me, I've probably got, say, like, I don't know, 7 or 8 inches of positive ease here. So it's not gigantic. And the sleeves are there's no decreases in the sleeves, at least not in the size that I knit. I think in the larger sizes, there might be some slight decreasing, but it's very slight. So these are essentially, if you can see here, like not bell sleeves, but just sort of like straight line sleeves. So a really relaxed fit, but I feel like this garment looks very polished, as in I've worn this on work calls. I've worn it actually to the city to work, like to meetings, and it looks, you know, very professional. Like it's not kind of a schlubby, like hang around the house sweater, right? So I love this. Ozetta is I guess I have my girl crush on Ozetta, one could say. People have petite knit obsessions. I'm on the Ozetta side of the camp. So we'll talk a little bit more about another pattern of hers that I'm knitting at the moment, but I just love everything she does. So she can do no wrong. The construction of this is pretty simple. It's a drop shoulder, so you start in the back, kind of knit a section of the back, start on the front panels, including this V-neck, which at first glance, I thought, I don't know how this is going to come together. It looks very complicated. Is there seaming? Is there this and that? Very simple. The way she constructs this is ingenious, so don't be intimidated by the V-neck because it overlaps really quite beautifully here. Then you join the front and the back sections, knit the body in the round, and then pick up stitches for the sleeves. So very simple construction. I love a drop shoulder. I feel like it is probably the construction I feel the most comfortable in, the most I feel like it's the easiest to move for me. I have quite broad shoulders, and I guess a larger than average bust. So drop shoulder works pretty well for me. And this garment is no exception. It is very easy to move around in. So what else to say about this? The yarn. I'm wearing this next to skin, so I don't have a t-shirt or anything on under this. I have no issues whatsoever with the Knitting for Olive mohair. I think I mentioned this in another video. I seem to be a lot more sensitive to alpaca actually than mohair. So even mohairs with a little wool in them, I might notice it on my skin, but it's not bothersome, I guess maybe is the right word. I don't mind it being there. And this is just pure silk and mohair with the merino, and it feels lovely. As in, I have no issues wearing this. It's not itchy. It doesn't bother me. I don't notice that it's there. So yeah, if if you're super sensitive to mohair, yeah, probably use a different strand or just use a DK weight. I think in the pattern actually it suggests doing, I think it's the Cardiff Cashmere Classic, maybe. So it's a light DK, but that's the yarn she suggests in her pattern. I just modified because I had enough yarn. Well, we'll get to that. I thought I had enough yarn to do this with the pairing from Knitting for Olive. So yeah, I bought I think 6 skeins each of the merino and the soft silk mohair, thinking, this is. I think my math was sound. Oh, if you heard that crash, I think there's a cat in the closet. We'll find out soon. Uh, so yeah, I ordered what I thought was enough yarn, and then I was working the body and thought, oh, getting real low on the mohair, getting low on the mohair. So I switched back over to sleeves, finished the sleeves, and then had enough mohair to get the I-cord bind off on the hem of the body done with, I ran out of mohair like 5 stitches from the end. So there's a little section at the end of the bind off where it's just the merino. So I really used like every last scrap. And usually when I do my math on the yarn, I end up with too much. And you'll see I have some projects now that I'm using like big leftover skeins for. Yeah, not with this one. So I don't know really what happened there, but luckily with blocking, this grew like 2 inches, because when I did the bind off, I thought, oof, like this works, but it's like high cut jeans pants line skimming, right? Like the waist, it would have skimmed the waistline of like my highest cut jeans. So I thought, okay, if blocking even gives me an extra inch, I should be okay. Luckily, this grew a lot when I blocked it. So it's absolutely the perfect length now, which is good. So I'm glad I didn't buy more mohair and make it even longer. I'm super happy with how it turned out. But yeah, there was a moment there where I thought, oh, this is going to be like a crop top pullover, and I may have to undo the I-cord and go get some more yarn and finish this sucker off. But no, it was fine. It was fine. I love it. I'm really happy with it. It is coming with me on vacation. So yeah, that's the Moonset pullover. Okay, finished object number 2, and I will put this on in a second, but just so you guys can see it, this is the Harris Hood by Cheryl Mokhtari, and also known as Cocoa More Knitwear. Doesn't look like much right now, but I will put it on, and I actually think I'm going to have to move the mic, so I'll readjust myself here. Okay, hopefully this doesn't change the audio too much. I have just moved my mic so you can see what this looks like on. So this is the Harris Hood. I think it's really cute. I knit this. I'm gonna have to look up the needle size. I think it was like a US 8 or 9, so a pretty big needle size. And I knit this out of 2 and like 10 centimeters. 2 skeins plus 10 centimeters of a third of this is Pearl Soho's Plenty in the color Smoky Taupe. This is a 100% merino. It's like a 5-ply or something. It is. If you look at this, it's like this is super squishy. It says on the website this is a worsted. I don't really agree with that. I think this knits up more like an Aran weight. And I think I mentioned in my last podcast, I had another yarn intended for this and was just not getting gauge. And I did get gauge with this. So this is how it all turned out. A really engaging, enjoyable pattern. So you kind of knit this rectangle at the top and then pick up stitches around the edges of it and just kind of start knitting down like in all directions. And then you start making increases here for the bottom of the hood, join it in the round, do a couple like inches in the round down here, and then you do this beautiful bound off 1 by 1 rib around the face. So yeah, beautiful pattern. It is really nice and warm. I've worn this out a couple times already. Love it. I think it's super cute, and it's a nice alternative to scarf knitting, which to me can feel kind of endless and boring. Like this knitted up, I think, in a week maybe. So, and that's with working on other projects like the pullover and stuff. So quick knit, loved it. Um I did have a moment of panic. Maybe I can find a picture of it. Before I blocked this grew a lot in blocking too, as you can see. It's very roomy around the face. So this yarn, if you use this yarn, it grows a ton. Just saying. I have some of another color of this waiting for a cardigan number 9 that I want to knit. And so I'm going to have to be really careful with that because I want that a little cropped. This grows like a ton. So anyway, this was before blocking. I took a picture of it to send to somebody, and I had this moment of panic where I was like, "Does this look like a medieval executioner's hood?" And I just couldn't shake this image, and so I asked my husband, I'm like, "Be honest, does this look like I'm going to be a medieval executioner?" And he said, "No, no, no, don't worry, because medieval executioners like would not show their face, right? That was the whole point. They'd wear the hood so like nobody would know that they were the person like executing people in the town square." I was like, touche, good point. So I decided I wouldn't look like I was about to go execute Anne Boleyn. But then I thought, no, you know what it is? It might look a little bit like medieval chainmail, like the hoods of like the hats of chainmail people used to wear. And so there was this panicked moment where I thought I'm gonna look like I'm on my way to the Ren Fair. But by that point, I'd bound the whole thing off. So I thought, okay, fine, we're gonna block this and see what happens. Luckily, with blocking, it looks like, I think, slouchy enough that we're not doing medieval knight vibes right now. So that's good. But I did have a moment of intense panic there where I thought, oh man, I'm gonna look like I'm about to go cut somebody's head off with an axe. But I didn't. So highly recommend this. I'm going to take a look at some of her other patterns. I think she actually just released another hood. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this format of pattern. So I'll actually just show you, like, if you have it just tucked back there, you can just have it hang out like almost a cowl, but not really. And then, if it's snowing or raining or your ears are cold, just pull it back up. So this layers really nicely over like coats that don't have a hood on them, or when you don't feel like looking after a scarf, like kind of keeping track of it all day long. Or if you just don't want to knit something as big as a scarf or a shawl, this is perfect. It's very cozy. It's lovely. Really, really happy with this. Okay, I've had to readjust myself here and get the mic back on my sweater. So let's talk whips. We're going to talk really active whips, and then I have one new cast on. Yes, one new cast on. So I have some inactive whips, and we're gonna see. We're gonna see if I take some of them to Japan, maybe. The thing is, I'm traveling very light because I'm taking one of my kids with me, so really need to think very carefully about what kind of project I'm gonna bring with me. So it might end up being like, I don't know, maybe a pair of mittens or a hat or something that I take. So TBD on that. But let's get into the whips. Um, This is the Miles shirt jacket, and I am resisting the urge to put the word field in there. I don't know why I keep wanting to call this the field. I know she has the field jacket. I mix those two up constantly. This is the Miles. So I have, hang on, I am knitting back and forth now on the body. I've got, oh gosh, I don't know how much this is. This is probably about, I don't know, 30 inches? Maybe? Not sure. It's a lot. So this is almost like, it's kind of at the bottom of my spine now, so I want it to be probably another, I don't know, 10 inches longer. But it's an Aran weight. This is knitting up super quick. I'm knitting this on this is a US 9, so a 5.5 millimeter needle, and I have paired slate green, knitting for olive heavy merino, and the matching soft silk mohair. So it's got a beautiful heathering to it, which is really, really nice. I don't know if you can see in the, yeah, see there? It's got a really nice finish to it. Um, yeah, this has been a very engaging knit. It's really, I feel like I used to say I was a DK girl, and now I'm like, oh, I'm like knitting with all these like slightly heavier combinations for the winter stuff, and I really like it. So this is going well. This will not be coming with me to Japan because it is so large. This is going to be it's very oversized. So this is, I think, going to be more than 10 inches of positive ease on me. So I'm not going to bring it to Japan. It's just like already, even this, it doesn't even have sleeves. It's already feeling quite bulky and heavy, and it's, a big puffy kind of item. So I won't be bringing this, but I'll get as much done as I can, I guess, in the interim, and then I'll pick it up again when I get back in January. So yeah, this will be kind of, I think by end of Jan, I would have this done. Like, it's really flying. So yeah, I think this will knit up pretty quickly. Interested to see how the whole pocket situation works on this. This has pockets. I've never knit a pocket onto something before. yeah, we're gonna see. I want to see if they're usable pockets too, because I do actually put stuff in my pockets. So if it will hold an iPhone worth of weight, that would be good. But we'll find out. We'll see. Yeah, classic Ozetta, very size inclusive. The instructions are very clear. Again, this is, you sort of see here, you do increases on the back with this really nice detailing, pickup for the kind of the shoulder pieces on the front. And then at some point you connect after doing the armholes and you just start knitting back and forth. So that's going to be that with this one. A lot of knitting back and forth, and then I'll be in the round for the sleeves. So not a whole lot else to say. I love this. I want to wear this casually when I'm out with the kids or just running into town for errands, or even at home if we're having a really cold day at home, which happens sometimes. Just an easy, all the time wear type of garment. And I think it feels like a very sturdy fabric. So I think this should, stand up to some wear and tear. We shall find out. All right, next whip, very active whip. This is my Moby Sweater Man, which is a gift knit for my father-in-law, who at this point I won't see again until January. So I have actually a little more time left to finish this than I thought, but I am churning on this as quick as I can. The body is, here, I don't know if the body's done. I kind of put the body on hold because I was just getting a little tired of it, and I wanted to do one of the sleeves and just see how that affected the length. So the instructions for this, and I know I shouldn't doubt Petite Knit. I know she knows what she's doing, but I can't help myself. The instructions for this say to knit this to a length that to me seems quite long. I'm knitting the size large, which I think is the right size for the recipient, but the length feels very long to me. And he is not that much taller than I am. Now I know I have a more typically female kind of classification of body, I guess, and he does not. So I know she's done the math, and I know she probably knows better than I do how long something needs to be. But I'm also like, I don't want this to look like a tunic on him. So, and I mean, will it grow a little bit with blocking? Probably. Like this feels like quite a tight knit. I think it's just going to bloom a little with blocking, but maybe sideways more than lengthwise because of the cables. I don't know. If any of you have knit this for a man before, please illuminate what is going on here and enlighten me because, yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what to think. But in any case, I've just started on one of the sleeves, just, I mean, honestly, for a little break and um, to decide what I'm going to do with the body a little later. I just decided to go with the sleeves. But it's a beautiful knit. It's gorgeous. I am so in love with this. I want to make one for myself. Maybe I'm going to do a video on yarns I want to try, and maybe I'll try a new yarn for one of these for myself. But I am knitting this with actually a yarn that is new to me. This is La Mana Como Grande, 100% merino in the color Bordeaux again. And this is on a US 6 or a 4mm needle. So basically the whole thing has been on a US 6. I'd say this yarn is more of like a classic worsted weight than, and here I can show you a little ball of it, but this is more of a worsted to me, but I'm making it work with this pattern because it was on sale and I could buy like giant sweater quantities worth of it. And it is a lovely, soft, sturdy, round yarn. So actually really nice for doing things like you can see here, the double seed stitch. And I think it looks really nice on the cables as well. Like a very crisp definition. So for a dark color, it actually has like quite a lot of definition, which I like. Yeah, so I gotta move on this guy. But I think I'll be able to get it done. I think I'll be able to get it done before I see him in mid-January. That's quite a while away. So most of the body's done. I did the collar, so that's all finished. Yeah, I am torn on the length. I don't know what to do on the length, and that is bugging me. So for now, I'm going to put that off and work on the sleeves instead and come back to the length, hopefully after somebody comments down below about what I'm supposed to do about it. So yeah, I should trust Petite Knit. I know I should. She hasn't steered me wrong yet, but there's a part of me that thinks, I know how tall I am and I know how tall he is, and how is this math gonna math? And I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. So we're gonna find out. And hopefully somebody has some experience that they can throw in the comments down below. So please, if you think one way or the other I should keep it shorter or make it longer, please be honest and say so. Okay, now here is, I mean, this is an inactive whip, but question to you guys, should I take this to Japan? Now, this is the Bruno vest by Mareka Knit. I am still in like tiny needle ribbing purgatory here. So this is the, hang on, I will show you what this should look like as a garment eventually. So you see here, I finished like 75,000 rounds of tiny needle ribbing here, folded it over, bound down, same with the collar, and now I'm working on this side. So you can see I've done the little ridge here, and I'm working on the second half of this to be able to fold it in at the end. I might take this to Japan. I don't know. I feel like this might be a good one to take because it's relative, like it doesn't have sleeves, so it's going to be relatively small, but there is still quite a bit to do here. So I mean, the ribbing alone is going to take me like 10 years to do, so that might take up a whole vacation. But then, yeah, I've got to do the entire body here still. I have to do, like, again, at the very bottom, there's tons of ribbing there too. So this is a nice, like, meaty project in that way, but it is also not gigantic, and does not involve any techniques that I'm going to have trouble, like, learning on the go. So it might be the perfect combination to bring with me, and I know I have enough yarn for it. So it's an option. I might bring this, and it's not, like, I can just fold it up pretty small. It would even fit in my backpack, I think, for the plane if I wanted to do that. So yeah, I might take this with me, make some kind of good progress on it, so we can maybe wrap this up in January. But yeah, Bruno vest, I haven't made a ton of progress. I've just been so busy on the gift knit, but I'm excited to get this done. I think it's oh, the yarn is so beautiful. This is Pearl Soho Signet, which is a mostly cashmere and then a little bit of alpaca blend. I think it's like 80-20 cashmere to alpaca, and it's in the color, oh gosh, running out of this ball. It's this heirloom white color. So I think undyed, just very natural looking. It's beautiful. It's so soft, so drapey. I'm trying to think what else I could make out of this yarn because they have a few other natural colors, but I really love it. It's so soft, so soft. Love it. Beautiful. So yeah, this might come with me on my journeys. I don't know yet. If anyone has any other suggestions, by the way, of maybe even new cast-ons that I could bring with me that are good travel projects and don't require, me bringing 17 skeins of heavy yarn, like that would be cool. I'm all down for that. Open to suggestions, guys. Okay, so I'm not going to go into all the inactive whips I have. There's like the Cardi Cocoon and stuff, and all of those I haven't really been working on. A row here or there, but nothing that's big enough to show you guys. So once I have more progress on those, I'll let you know. But I do have one fun little cast on that I started, which is really in its infancy, but I will show you anyway. So this is going to be the Stair by Katie Pomper, and I'll put in a picture of what it will look like. So I've literally just started, like this is the ribbing for the bottom of the hat. And I'm going to combine two yarns here because it is color work. So this is a leftover skein I have from Madeline Tosh. This is the Tosh DK, and the color is, one second, what is this? Nocturne. So it's a midnight blue kind of tonal color. I had most of a skein left of this, so this will be my dark contrast color. And I'm going to pair that with this guy. This is the Pearl Soho knitting yarn, and this is the color Blue Willow. I have, it seems like 1,000 of these lying around. I ordered, I think, enough for a big shawl and then never ended up making the shawl. And then I ordered extra for some, oh, it was for that sweater that I need to frog. It's forgetting the name of it. It's the very heavy gauge marled petite knit one. And I was using like 2 strands of this and something else. So I have like a zillion of these, and I have yet to actually finish an object with them. And it is a really lovely yarn, and especially when they're on sale, like quite affordable, lots of colors. So I'm excited to pair these two together. I think they'll be really nice. So yeah, I think I'll do a video on New Year's resolutions, but one of them is to practice color work more. I feel like I've been very intimidated by that because of the stranded color work in particular, because of having to hold yarn in 2 hands, because I'm an English knitter and I throw. So the idea of doing something with my left hand, I'm just like, oh, too hard, can't, scared, don't want to. So I'm starting out small with little things like hats, and this is a pretty simple charted pattern as far as I can tell, so hopefully not too complicated. Um, the only thing I'm going to modify with this hat is I'm going to knit a little more of the brim to be able to fold it over. So I think in the pictures, this is not folded. I will fold it myself because I prefer that look. And I think, I mean, I'm pretty sure I have enough yarn to do that. I would like to use as much of this as I can. So that's the only change I plan to make to this. Yeah, it'll be a cute little hat with a kitty stare. So I'm all about cats. I have two, and anything, any kind of cat pattern, I'm down to do it. Down for it. So yeah, that's it. Maybe I'll take this to Japan too. This is kind of a nice small project. It'll be just, you know, this basically together. So put this in a big Ziploc bag and take it with me. Yeah, but that's it. That's it for today. I don't have any other cast-ons whips. I do have some plans for new cast-ons next year, but all of my cables are my big cables. My 40 inches are currently in use for other things. So yeah, I'm holding off for now, but I have a bunch of plans of other things I want to cast on soon. So that's it for today, guys. That's it for the year, which is crazy. That's it for the year. I'll be back in January. I am going to try to pre-film a couple of other things that I can release while I'm away. So stay tuned for those. But my next podcast will be at some point in January, along with the usual, hey, what I knit in 2024 that people like to do. So I'm excited to do that. In the meantime, I hope all of you have really happy holidays. I hope if you are in the Northern Hemisphere, you stay warm and cozy. Thank you, as always, for watching. I'll catch you in the new year or on the next video. Bye for now.